Ginger the giraffe lived in the African savannah. She had a beautiful brown coat with orange spots. Ginger loved to stretch her long neck high above the ground. She used it to reach the tastiest leaves on her favorite acacia tree. Every day, Ginger greeted her animal friends with a gentle smile. She loved to share stories and play games under the warm African sun. Zebras, elephants, and even grumpy warthogs considered Ginger a true friend. One year, the rains did not come. The once lush savanna began to dry and wither. The scorching sun turned the watering holes into patches of cracked earth. Ginger watched with concern as her home slowly turned brown and desolate. She knew she had to do something to help her friends. Day after day, the sun beat down on the savanna. The grass shriveled and turned brown. The animals grew thinner and weaker. The once bustling watering hole was now a dusty pit. Animals fought amongst themselves for a few drops of muddy water. Ginger felt terrible. She knew she had to find a solution. She wanted to help her friends. The scorching sun seemed to sap away all the energy and hope from the savannah. Ginger knew they had to act fast.
Ginger, what's wrong?
Asked Ginger, her voice gentle and soothing.
The bananas on my tree have dried up. There's no food or water left. What are we gonna do?
Ginger thought for a moment.
Don't worry, Mickey. We'll find a solution. We just need to ask for help.
Mickey looked at Ginger with hope. Maybe, just maybe, Ginger had a plan.
Leo, the savannah is dry. We need your help to find water and food.
Leo listened patiently. He knew the situation was dire.
There is a jungle beyond the plains. It is always green and lush. You will find food and water there. But the journey is long and dangerous. Are you brave enough to face the challenges ahead?
Ginger and Mickey decided to seek advice from Leo the lion. Leo was the wisest animal in the savannah. He knew everything about the land. They found Leo resting under a baobab tree. Section 5. The long journey begins. Ginger and Mickey knew the journey would be difficult, but they were determined to save their friends. They gathered all the animals together.
Follow me?
Called Ginger. Her voice echoed across the barren savannah.
I know where to find food and water.
And so, the long journey began. The animals followed Ginger towards the distant jungle. They walked for days under the scorching sun. Their throats were dry and their legs were sore. But they kept moving, driven by hope and Ginger's unwavering determination. One afternoon, the wind picked up. The sky turned an ominous shade of orange. A fire had broken out in the dry grass. The flames roared and crackled, spreading quickly across the savannah. The animals panicked. They were trapped between the fire and a steep ravine.
"We're going to be burnt!"
cried a zebra, her voice filled with terror. Ginger knew they had to act fast. The fire was closing in, and the air was thick with smoke. They needed to find a way out. Ginger spotted a narrow path through the ravine. It was risky, but it was their only chance.
Follow me?
She shouted, her voice barely audible over the roar of the fire. Ginger led the animals through the narrow path. The air was thick with smoke, making it difficult to breathe. The flames licked at their heels, but Ginger urged them forward. Finally, they emerged on the other side, safe from the fire. After what felt like an eternity, the exhausted animals reached the jungle. It was just as Leo had described. Lush green trees reached for the sky, and a sparkling river flowed through the heart of the jungle. The animals cheered with joy. They had found their salvation. They drank deeply from the river and feasted on fresh fruits and leaves. As they rested under the shade of a giant fig tree, the first drops of rain began to fall. The animals looked up at the sky in amazement. The drought was finally over. Rain poured down, washing away the dust and despair. After a few weeks, the savannah was green and lush again. The watering hole was full, and the animals were no longer hungry. It was time for Ginger to go home. She said goodbye to her new friends in the jungle and promised to visit them soon. Ginger returned to her favorite acacia tree. It was good to be home. She looked around at the happy animals and smiled. Ginger knew that even though the journey had been long and difficult, it was all worth it. She had saved her friends, and that was all that mattered.